Right, good afternoon everyone. Today we will be carrying on to look at some past paper regarding economic globalizations, and our focus will be on paper 1. So if you have your past paper with you, may you take a look at year 2015 paper 1, and we'll look at question 3. When I explain the paper, you will be finding that my approach may be a little bit different from that of the marking scheme. But because this question was set about 5 to 6 years ago, the marking criteria has already changing quite a lot. So therefore, my approach is actually reflecting the latest marking scheme, the marking approach. Okay, let's note the question together. Firstly, you will see our piece of source, providing you the international tourism number and the economic receipts from international tourism. So when you see these kinds of table, you can definitely observe some trend. So here you can see that the number of international tourists are increasing in number, and the international tourist receipts, the economic benefits, is also increasing in number. And for all the data descriptions, standard format for DSE paper 1, you have to provide both the actual amount and both the percentage. So you can see actual amount of international tourist arrivals from 434 millions in 1990 up to 1,035 millions in year 2015. Similarly, okay, 2.262 billions up to 1,078 billions, okay, for the tourism receipts between 1990 to year 2012. Okay, so look at part A. Part A describing the trends in the international tourism shown in source A and suggests one potential benefits that may arise from the trends. So this part basically requiring you to answer two things. Firstly, describe the trend. Use the data. You have to use the data to describe what kinds of changes that you can see. And from those changes, you have to suggest one potential benefits. And the potential benefits can be from the tourism activities, the social economic impact, or the government's response. Let's look at how you should answer. For the description part, as I mentioned to you just now, both the amount and the percentage. Okay, so the number of tourists from 434 millions in 1990 up to 1,035 millions in the year 2012. So you have to calculate the percentage or the number of increase. So we can find that approximately increase is about 2.5 times. You take the similar approach for international tourism receipts. 262 billions up to 1,078 billions, which is about a 4 times increase. Okay, so this is the first part. If you can answer all these details correctly and comprehensively with good logic, then you can basically get the first half of the mark. So what about the second half of the mark? You have to provide the potential benefits. Okay, so we see an increase in number of tourists. More tourists coming to Hong Kong or other places. This means this will be leading to the demand of catering or self-services will increase. Catering means hotel or some restaurants or some tourism spots. So with the high demands of those services, we will be having more jobs openings at the service industry. And because for service industries, most of them they are low skilled or they do not require very much experience. So this would be some very good entry level jobs for fresh graduates. 你見到對於字係紅色咗嘅，所以 in the past in year 2015, if you can provide 1, 2, 3 steps of inference, that's good enough for you to get the full mark. But if you want to get the top level, you have to at least get 4 to 5 steps of inference. So the red part is actually reflecting the latest marking criteria. So other than that, you may also give one example. Okay, Macau's casino industry. Because of the increasing of tourism and therefore this fraud, and then many of the fresh graduates in Macau, they actually go into the casino industry. Another point, increasing in tourism, in number of tourists and the economic benefits. So because this can provide a good sum of income for the government. So their response would be they tries to boost up tourism as far as possible. And how to boost up tourism? Provide more infrastructural development and to strengthen the linkage with other regions. And then this is one of the potential benefits as well. They will build the infrastructure not only for the use of tourism but also for the local residents as well. And then this can strengthen their linkage. Example, the Hong Kong Zhuhai Macau Bridge, Shenzhen Bay Port, all sorts of examples, okay, can be used to support your inference, your arguments. Okay, so part A basically not too difficult. Now we look at part B. Part B, these kinds of sources, these kinds of graph, okay, these are different activities, different items of different events. How do this lead to the change in carbon dioxide emissions from year 2005 up to down to year 2035? So similarly to part A, when you see graph, you have to provide both the actual amount and the percentage. So here what you can see, for all kinds of activities, all kinds of items or events, in terms of actual number, they actually increase. Okay, the CO2 emissions for all the items they actually increase. And then which items increase the most? Air transport. So this is the ideas, the messages that you can see from source B. And from source C, I suppose when you do the past paper, you should have already read the source. So I highlight the important points. 你見到呢度紅色、紫色、橙色 red, purple, orange. Red part, this is talking about the misbehavior, the qualities of citizens. Purple part, about the disrespect of culture. Orange part, conflicts with local people. So all of this is actually giving you some hints, some of the possible arguments for part B. And these are the examples that you can use. 好，開始啦，睇下點做啦。With reference to the sources provided, identify and explain two global concerns arising from the trends into intellectual tourism you describe in A. Global concerns. What is the meaning of concerns? We mentioned for quite a number of times in lesson. But anyway, global concern is actually means are problems. Okay, what is wrong about the current situations, and why is this situations is worth the people's attentions, and what are the people's expectation on it. So when you see the word concern, either it's global concern, local concern, whatever concern, your answer for each of the arguments must be including these three parts. What is the problems that is worth worrying? Why does this need to have some attentions? Because it's very serious in its effect, or the extent of impact is very far. And when the people are concerned about something, what are their expectations on the situations? How would they want the change to be? 嗱，我見唔見到呢度唔同顏色啊？個 explanation 嗰度，紅色、綠色、紫色 ，red、green、purple。So I want you to focus on the structure, how you can answer concern questions in a better way。每年都出㗎啦，其實都，所以你一定要識答嘅呢樣題目。睇住啦，睇清楚啦。Red means the problems, green means the why is this worth attentions, and purple means the expectations. Red, green, purple。嗱，我哋開始睇下後面點樣用翻呢個 framework 落去啦。So for example, environmental concern. From source B, we found that there's increasing emissions of CO2 from tourism, okay, or related activities, and all the items actually shows an increase in CO2, and the air transport also increased the most in percentage. Now, 紅色 from the source, you identify the problems, and then why does this lead to the people's attentions? Green part 綠色啦，開始去到 global warming. And global warming may lead to more extreme weather, which would be suffering for the humans' livelihoods. Okay, so what are the people's expectations? We have a problems, so we concern about it. So we also expect some change. If there's nothing to be changed, then that's not a concern. 譬如火山爆發、地震，全個 cities 冇晒嘅，or the whole city is destroyed, then we can't do anything about it, and it's not a concern. Okay? We concern something because we want to increase the situations. So what kinds of expectations the people are expecting? we may be developing some alternative energy source so that we can reduce CO2 emissions. Be more specific about this, okay, when you explain your answer. For example, more energy saving jets so that we can be targeting as the most severe problems. Air transport actually increase the emission the most. OK，呢個紅綠紫色個 framework 再睇多個 example. Cultural clash or conflicts with local people. From source C, we found that the tourists they may fail to respect local customs, moral values, and regulations. So this is the current situations, the problems we can identify. Then why is this worth concerning? Because if a lot of people, a lot of tourists is doing this, then the local people or different parts of the world, they will be stereotyping the tourists from certain regions, and then this may even develop some anti-tourist attitudes, use the concept. And this would be further lead to conflicts between the local people and the tourists, and then you can use source C paragraph 4 as your supporting examples. So what are the people expectation? Enhancing mutual understanding between the tourists and local residents. Or we can think of some way of improving the quality of tourists. For example, the countries they have more promotions of cultural sensitivity. We respect other cultures. We paid extra awareness over cultural items. Okay, finally, one more examples. Heritage preservations. This may economic globalizations or global tourism may also harm heritage preservations. This is what we can see from source C and A. Source C, more and more tourists they cause damage to the cultural heritage. For example, drawing or making some markings on the heritage items. And the government, okay, from source A, because of the economic benefits, the increasing amounts of tourism visits, so they decide to turn a blind eye over the increasing over the tourist misbehavior. So situations. And why is this worth concerning? Because this will affect how other people appreciate the heritage. And the local residents, okay, they may enjoy fewer local resources due to tourism development. Okay, you go to a certain heritage spot, you want to learn something about the history, but we have to cater the tourist needs. So we will be spending a lot of resources on the regulations, on the order, instead of providing enough docents to educate the local people. Okay, this is one of the example. So what's the people expectation? The government should maintain good tourism management for achieving a balance between the local needs or the development of tourism. So always remember when you answer concern, apply both three things: problems, why attentions, and expectations. Okay, and also one more question, one more problems, one more things to remind you with reference to the source. So with reference to the source, it means that you are not only using one source, so you have to give two concern. 所以呢題佢叫你俾兩個 concern，係咪淨用晒 source A 或者 source B or source C is this enough? No, you have to use all the sources. And for some of the sources, they are providing similar ideas. Try to integrate those similar ideas from various sources and use more concepts. So that's all for today. Good Monday. Okay, study harder. Hopefully, school can resume as soon as possible. So tomorrow we'll be looking at cultural globalizations. That's all for today.